Hey, it's Steve. It is April 18th, 2017. The time is 14:17. It is 77 degrees Fahrenheit out, and I am just going to do a very short Geo-Rant. I just like to say right now I'm on my way to my brand new house that I just purchased, that just closed. So I'm on there right now. Now the time begins of moving stuff. Anyway, but today's Geo-Rant is just going to be a short one on sandstones. I've talked about this a little bit before, but sandstones are sedimentary rocks, and sandstone, the way we classify sandstones, has everything to do with grain size and nothing to do with composition. Well, it does, but to qualify as a sandstone, all you've got to be is broken down rock within a certain grain size. There's very fine, medium, coarse, and very coarse. Most of us use what's called the Wentworth scale in geology. A lot of engineers will use USCS, but those divisions are arbitrary and don't really mean anything. At least the Wentworth scale is based off of a logarithmic pattern, and plus very fine sand is about the smallest size particle you can see with the unaided eye. So what is a sandstone? Well, it's a clastic rock. It's formed for the weathering of other rocks, the mechanical weathering usually. Sorry. As rain comes down, a lot of rocks just get eroded. They get broken down from big, huge outcrops into boulders, and then the cobbles, and then into sand. But you can only break down sandstone so much. The smallest silica particles that make up many sandstones are only about quartz silt in size. They can't really get any smaller than that. They just won't. Quartz is a very resilient mineral. But quartz is, when people think of sandstone, they usually think of quartz sandstones. But we have other types of sandstones. We have arkoses, and we have lithic sandstones. And those is where the composition comes in. Once you know that you have a sandstone and you know it falls within sandstone range, you can break it down by the amount of quartz, feldspar, and lithics. Well, quartz is SiO2. It's pretty simple to define. The feldspars will be broken down. Feldspars are igneous rocks, are the main constituent most igneous rocks, and lithics take up everything else. Broken down limestone particles, volcanics, diabases, all that stuff falls under lithics. I put chert under lithics, not under sandstone, even though it's still technically SiO2, because chert is definitely a rock fragment. It's not really, and that's just like a preference call. Some people put it with the quartz, some don't, and it's also easier to identify chert and put it with the lithics than it is to kind of shove it with the quartz, especially if you're trying to show somebody a picture or something, because chert lithics don't look like quartz grains. But anyway, if a sandstone is free of fines, that means silt and clays, it's an arenite. So you'll have like a quartz arenite, or an arkosic arenite, or a lithic aranite. If it has significant silt and clay in it, it's a wacky up to a certain point, because once you start having more and more silt and clay, eventually you're going to cross the line, and it's going to be a sandy shale, or a sandy siltstone. Okay, so, and that's about the 50% mark. Visually, it's a judgment call, because when you're looking at rocks in the field, generally between 45 and 55% is where you draw that line, and it's really a judgment call. You'll use other things like whether the grains are matrix supported or class supported to make that judgment. So sandstones are I love sandstones and metamorphic versions of them, quartzites, proto-quartzites. I just think they're really interesting. Plus, you don't need an electron microscope to view the particles. You can do it with a hand lens. But anyway, that is my short Geo-Rant for today. I am almost to my new house, and I hope you learned something.